about to get in this video, man. People is bugging in this world. You see what the title say? See what the title say? Boyfriend, they cannot take a rejection. They can't take it.
Hello? 911, we got a call from this number.
And we send our regards and our prayers to all family members.
Is everything okay?
Rejection by a partner or love interest can be a hard thing for anyone to handle, especially for those who are still in love. However, some boyfriends handled being dumped in a much more horrific and violent way, one that ended in tragedy. Love and heartbreak are all part of growing up. We all fall in love, and we all experience our own fair share of heartbreak. But while most people move on with their lives and learn from the experience, some boyfriends take the rejection far too far. Let's take a look at a few of these horrific cases and what happened when boyfriends were rejected. In April 2024, a devastating act of domestic violence left the Dayton, Ohio community in shock and mourning. Montana.
I hate shit like this because niggas cannot, when they start getting good pussy, boy, they'd kill over that. You, like, but you killing the wrong person. Like, you're not supposed to be killing these women. They got kids and shit. Like, these niggas is bugging, but let's get to it.
Montana Davis.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample
Yeah, we gotta
libraries.
stop these
This is
ads
all paid by
too.
output. This thing
I'm gonna
has
have to pay
sound.
to stop
A
these ads.
26-year-old woman known for her vibrant personality and caring spirit was tragically killed in her own home by her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old Jamarte Latrell Brown.
A dirty
The incident
boy.
highlighted the ongoing threat of intimate partner violence
Dirtball.
and the urgent need for intervention and preventative measures. Montana Davis was a beautiful, popular, and friendly woman who really was the life and soul of any social situation that she was in.
I can take you here. Talk to my friends. I can shake your hand. No, I'm not your friend. I just want some bed.
On top of that,
Bum
she was
ass.
working hard to
She's
better
a
herself
fucking
and her
bum.
life. She was training to become a nurse so she could help people. It was this selfless attitude to life that drew so many people to Montana.
The most important thing to do now is being in touch with myself.
However, Montana had recently ended her relationship with a man named Jamarte Latrell Brown, a decision that came after what friends and family described
Bumpy
as a
ass
turbulent
neck.
and emotionally taxing partnership. She wanted someone serious and like-minded, and she had outgrown her relationship with Jamarte. The breakup marked a turning point for Montanai, who had begun rebuilding her life and exploring new relationships. She started dating someone new, a step toward finding happiness and stability. However, Jamarte's behavior became increasingly erratic and threatening in the aftermath of their breakup. Montana confided in close friends and family that Jamarte had been sending her harassing messages and making alarming threats. It really started to impact her mental health, and Montana would sometimes take to social media to talk about what she was going through.
Get it, girl. She was beautiful. Oh shit.
As Jamarte's
A lot of these women is beautiful, and they killed them. It's crazy.
anger escalated, so did Montana's concerns for her safety. On several occasions, she told loved ones that she feared he might harm her. They even got pregnant and had a baby shower. But despite her attempts to move on, the shadow of Jamarte's anger loomed large. Friends later described her as torn between trying to maintain her independence and move on with her life, with her new love, and worrying about the lengths to which her ex-boyfriend might go. He even called to threaten to shoot at the house with her kids inside if he did not meet his demands. It was clear that Jamarte was jealous of Montana's newfound happiness and could not stand to see her move on. The situation reached a tragic peak on the night of April 12, 2024. Around 10:30 p.m., Montana made a desperate call to 911, informing dispatchers that Jamarte was at her home, threatening her and making clear his intent to harm her. The fear in her voice was palpable as she pleaded for help. help, but the events unfolded too quickly for authorities to intervene in time. Moments after the call, Jamarte arrived at Montani's residence, enraged and determined to confront her. He forcibly entered the home by kicking in the back door, ignoring her cries for him to stop. Inside, an argument ensued, during which Jamarte brandished a firearm. In a chilling act of violence, he shot Montani multiple times, leaving her mortally wounded and lying in a pool of her own blood.
Oh man.
A 26-year-old woman is dead, and police are looking for her killer. They said the shooting may have happened in front of her own children.
Now, this happened in Montgomery County about 3 o'clock this morning on Torrington Place, just off Salem Avenue.
They found a female, 26 years of age, who had been shot. They'd first aid at the scene, but unfortunately she passed away later at the hospital.
Jamarte escaped into the night, sparking a citywide manhunt. Law enforcement agencies, including local police and U.S. Marshals, worked tirelessly to locate him, releasing his name and description to the public. Days later, Jamarte was apprehended without incident. He was charged with aggravated murder, burglary, and related offenses. Authorities also uncovered a pattern of prior harassment and violent behavior, which underscored the premeditated nature of his actions. His bond was set at $1 million, a testament to the gravity of his crimes and the danger he posed to society. In the months followed, the legal proceedings brought Jamarte's case to the forefront of local and national conversations about domestic violence. In September 2024, after undergoing psychological evaluations, Jamarte was found competent to stand trial. The announcement brought little solace to Montani's grieving family, who had been advocating for justice and raising awareness about the systemic failures that often leave victims of domestic violence vulnerable. Montani's death became a rallying cry for greater awareness and support for victims of
You and I were both lied to since childhood. We were told since we were her age that we had to save up cash.
intimate partner violence. Her family and friends described her as a bright light, a woman who cared deeply for others and deserved to live a full, happy life. Community members held vigils in her honor, and advocacy groups called for reforms in how authorities handle domestic violence cases, including stricter enforcement of restraining orders and more robust resources for victims in crisis.
Yeah, just behind me are Montani's family and friends remembering her. A lot of people showing up to show their support and love, bringing flowers, sharing memories with each other about Montani.
The tragedy left an indelible mark on the Dayton community, reminding everyone of the profound consequences of unchecked domestic violence. For Montana's loved ones, the pain of her loss is a daily reality, but they remain determined to keep her memory alive by fighting for change and ensuring that no one else suffers as she did. But sadly, this is not the only case of a jealous ex-boyfriend lashing out and killing their former partner in fits of jealous rage. In February,
oh yeah, it's more. So it's multiple of these. It's different accounts, right? Of these guys killing their baby mothers, their girlfriends, their loved ones. Like they just killing females. It's crazy. You're not supposed to be killing female kids, women, grandparents. Like, what is going on?
2024, a heartbreaking case of teen dating
That's those YNs.
violence shook the small community of Girardeau, Missouri, when 17-year-old Kamari Childress was tragically shot and killed outside her workplace. The incident, which also left an innocent bystander injured, highlighted the devastating consequences of jealousy, control, and unchecked aggression in young relationships.
This is the story of 17-year-old Kamari Childress, whose life took a tragic turn due to her past relationship with 20-year-old Tremarian Jones, also known as Kidda Trey.
Kamari, described by friends and family as a bright and ambitious young woman, was a senior in high school with dreams of attending college. She worked part-time at a local retail store, balancing her job with her schoolwork and extracurricular activities. Those who knew her admired her determination and vibrant personality. However, her promising future was tragically cut short in an act of violence perpetrated by someone she once trusted. Her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old Tremarian Jones, had reportedly struggled to accept the end of their relationship. The two dated for some time, but Kamari decided to move on after realizing the relationship was no longer healthy. Sure, their relationship had been fun while it lasted, but Kamari was ready to move on and gently broke up with Tremarian. hoping not to hurt his feelings, and praying that they would remain friends. However, in the weeks following their breakup, Jones grew increasingly upset as Kamari began dating someone new. He would send her text messages, telling her how good she looked and how much he missed her, and she would respond playfully, as if she were leading him on. She posted all of the exchanges to social media too, giving Tremarian a false hope that their relationship could be mended. Yet still, that jealousy remained of her relationship with the new guy. On the evening of February 14, 2024, Valentine's Day, Kamari was finishing her shift at work. Witnesses reported seeing Jones waiting for her outside the store. An argument ensued between the two, with Jones becoming visibly angry as Kamari attempted to walk away. According to surveillance footage and eyewitness accounts, the situation quickly spiraled out of control when Jones pulled out a firearm. As Kamari tried to flee, he fired multiple shots, striking her several times. A bystander, a 32-year-old man who was in the parking lot, was also hit in the crossfire. He sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was later treated at a nearby hospital. Emergency responders arrived at the scene within minutes, but Kamari succumbed to her injuries before she could be transported to the hospital. Her death sent shockwaves through the community, leaving her family, friends, and co-workers devastated.
We're learning tragic details about one of the victims of that deadly shooting in Cape Tuesday afternoon. Her family tells us 17-year-old Kamari Childress was killed in that shooting.
Jones fled the scene, but was apprehended by law enforcement later that night after a...
She was a little girl, bro. She was 17 years old, y'all. 17 years old. The little dyke-looking little boy looked like a butch. He was motherfucking 20 years old. You dead, like, come on now.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
You can't make this shit up.
Okay, you ready? All right,
Chase and an intense search. He and another person was arrested without incident and charged with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and other related offenses.
2 people are in custody in connection with that shooting that happened around 2:30 p.m. Tuesday. Those suspects were arrested just last night.
During his initial court appearance, prosecutors emphasized the premeditated nature of the crime, citing his history of controlling behavior and his refusal to accept the end of the relationship. Jones was held without bond as the legal process unfolded, and if found guilty, something which he inevitably will be, he faces spending the rest of his life in prison.
During the initial arraignment, the judge made it clear Jones could be sentenced to life in prison if he's found guilty of first-degree murder.
There is one more tragic take of jealousy and murder. In April 2024, the quiet suburban community of Parkville, Maryland, was devastated by the tragic and violent death of 27-year-old Shakea Allen. Shakea, a beloved member of her community, was fatally shot multiple times in the parking lot of her apartment complex by her ex-boyfriend, Amir Johnson. The brazen act, carried out in broad daylight, was captured on video by a neighbor and later circulated widely on social media, drawing widespread attention to the case.
I seen this one too. He chased that girl down. Like, yeah, and he still killed her. This nigga ain't care, God. They be in the way. These women, female mothers, sisters, they don't care. But we send our regards to all family members, man. This is really sad.
Shakea and Amir had been in a happy relationship for quite some time. They had gotten along like any normal couple, and no one would have suspected their relationship was on the rocks or facing any kind of hardship.
Babe, you think you the shit? You're not even a fart.
However, Shakea had reportedly ended her relationship with Amir months before the shooting, citing concerns about his behavior. However, tensions between the two appeared to escalate after the breakup. In the weeks leading up to the incident, Shakea had taken legal steps to protect herself, filing for a protective order against Amir.
I want to know, is it a bad thing to like go through something and want to go through something alone? Like, is it wrong for you to be like isolated? Like, you don't get that, like you can't be isolated? Like, why do everybody make that seem like it's a problem so like want to go through something and deal with it alone?
Despite her efforts, the case was dismissed after both parties failed to appear in court, leaving her without the legal safeguards she sought. On April 15, 2024, tragedy struck. Witnesses reported hearing a heated argument in the parking lot of Allen's apartment complex.
You don't wait till you
ain't gonna do nothing to get yourself in trouble, bro.
I have a restraining order
As Amir chased Shakaya, someone living nearby filmed the incident. They filmed as multiple gunshots rang out and watched as Shakaya was struck several times and collapsed to the ground as other witnesses called 911. The cell phone footage then showed Amir fleeing the scene moments after the shooting.
I ain't gonna lie, if I was him, you see him just standing right there watching? If I was him, I would pull my gun out and I would have shot his ass right in the motherfucking arm and right in the ass crack. He'd have dropped that gun and ran over there and grabbed. I'm telling you, because he had that gun, I wouldn't let it. As soon as he put that gun up to shoot that guy, I would have shot him right in his shit. He did do it quick. He did it quick, bro. I'm saying, nah, that's what I'm saying. I would have shot him before he would have did that, because clearly he's about to kill this girl, boy. Like, that shit crazy.
Don't you put her here. Hey! Leave her alone! No! Oh my God!
Paramedics arrived quickly, but Shakaya succumbed to her injuries at the scene.
By the time police responded, the damage had been done.
When officers arrived, they located a female suffering from apparent gunshot wounds in the parking lot of the establishment. The victim was pronounced deceased here on scene.
The video, which began circulating on social media shortly after the incident, sparked outrage and calls for justice. It provided clear evidence of the crime, but also highlighted chilling reality of domestic violence and the challenges faced by victims attempting to protect themselves. Authorities quickly identified Amir Johnson as the primary suspect and issued a warrant for his arrest, despite extensive efforts, including public appeals for information and collaboration with federal agencies. Amir has evaded capture. As of December 2024, he remains at large. Law enforcement continues to urge anyone with information about his whereabouts to come forward, emphasizing the importance of bringing him to justice. Shakaya's death has left a lasting impact on her family, friends, and community. Vigils and memorials have been held in her honor, with attendees remembering her as a kind and loving individual who did not deserve such a tragic end. Her story has also ignited discussion about the effectiveness of protective orders and the need for better enforcement mechanisms to safeguard victims of domestic violence. The search for Amir remains a priority for law enforcement, and her family continues to advocate for justice while raising awareness about the dangers of domestic violence in hopes of preventing similar tragedies. Shakaya Allen, Kamari Childress, and Montani Davis all lost their lives to jealous boyfriends, and the authorities are determined for it never to happen again. So now, it's over to you. What do you think of these tragic and senseless murders? What do you think it was that drove these boyfriends to murder their girlfriends? Be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please give this video a like and a subscribe.
Yeah, I watch him a lot. Him, my nigga Moolah, a couple of people. Yo, I give my regards to all family members. That is fucking crazy. Like, look at this right here. Look what just popped up. Let's check this out real quick before I go. Like, this is crazy. These people is crazy in the world.
One night he have followed her home, and when she saw him, she turned around, came back.
According to the solicitor's office, he was given a no-contact order in January of 2021. When Holloway returned from vacation in May of that year, she noticed Carol's truck found in her home.
Months before unaliving Denasia Alexis Holloway, Justin Cole Carroll had been charged with DD against...
Look what I'm telling y'all. They saying here, unaliving these females. I'm telling you that the cooch must be good. That head must be good. And they beautiful women. So just put it together. All that in one, driving them niggas crazy because they never had that before. Some niggas never had a beautiful woman that got everything going for themselves. Never had that. Niggas never had no good woman that could back them up. And then when they leave them, because they did wrong, now they want to be like, oh, nobody could have you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Nobody could have you. Like, what? Let her go live her life. It's a million females out here. Should have treated her right.
Then he got out on bail.
Prosecutors said Holloway saw Carol's truck
parked next to a Walterboro police vehicle belonging to a neighbor in the complex, locked her doors, and recorded a short video for Snapchat that shows Carol approaching her vehicle.
In the age of social media, where people share everything from their morning coffee to their biggest life milestones, Donasia Holloway unknowingly shared the most tragic moment of her life. As she was being stalked by Justin Carroll one day, she reached for her phone to record a Snapchat video, maybe to vent her frustrations at being stalked, or maybe to reach out for help. But the chilling truth was that she was recording her final moments, moments that would soon end in unspeakable tragedy. How did this nightmare unfold, and what led to this fatal moment? In May 2021, 22-year-old Donasia Holloway was returning to her home in Walterboro, South Carolina's Forest Point Apartments. She had just returned from a beach vacation and couldn't wait to get home when she noticed the headlights from a pickup truck that she had suspected was following her turn in her complex at the same time she did. Although the truck turned off and parked in a dark area of the parking lot, Donasia felt chills down her spine, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't shake the chills in her bones. Her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old Justin Colin Carroll, drives a pickup truck, the same Justin that just got out of prison, the Justin who's been calling her, stalking her and harassing her, the same Justin who was charged with first-degree DV after he attacked her. Despite a judge issuing a no-contact order a few months earlier, she had a strong feeling she was about to have another encounter with Justin. Somehow she felt this time around he might do something really horrific. It was just after 10 p.m., and her complex was already quiet, so she parked next to a Walterboro Police Department cruiser that belonged to a neighbor in her complex before she could get out of her car and run to her apartment. Her ex-boyfriend Justin emerged from the shadows, so she pulled out her phone, opened Snapchat and hit record, followed me to my app, and I saw him behind me and locked myself in the car. I have asked him multiple times to leave me alone, trying not to be fed, but this has to stop. She typed quickly into Snapchat. 7 minutes later, bullets were fired into her locked car. She was dead. That video became key evidence in the 2021 murder case, leading to her ex-boyfriend's arrest and conviction.
Walterboro man was sentenced to 60 years in prison for shooting and killing his
somebody
ex-girlfriend.
kill that
24-year-old Justin Carroll was found guilty of the 2021 murder.
No lie, hope somebody kill that weird ass motherfucker in jail. That's crazy. Nobody was death or jail or nobody, but that's crazy, boy.
Of Donasia Holloway.
During his trial, the prosecutor showed that video Donasia took in her final moment as evidence of Justin's guilt. The prosecutor also presented the restraining order she got against him, as well as the doctor's report from when he attacked her. The prosecutor said in a statement to the jury, Donasia tried to end this toxic relationship, and she tried to protect herself from her ex-boyfriend's jealous rage. But Justin Carroll refused to take no for an answer. He ignored a no-contact order, stalked her, and killed her. Justin and Donasia had met in 2020 and had dated for several months, and at first Justin was the perfect gentleman. Donasia thought she had found Prince Charming until one day in late 2020, her Prince Charming transformed into a beast.
Holloway and Carroll had previously dated for several months before she ended the relationship in January 2021.
Justin attacked her after a fight. She was so badly bruised from the attack, she ended up in the ER. She quickly filed a domestic violence report against him and ended their relationship. Justin was charged with DV and placed under arrest. The prosecutor also...
And this is exactly what I'm trying to tell y'all. So look at him and look at her. He's never had nothing like that.
And what's so crazy?
So when he started getting that and throwing it out, yeah, he's not doing none of that to no man. He in jail probably get his ass whooped. Around the corner niggas taking his shit. But they go home and beat up on your ex-girlfriend, following her and shit, because you can't do that to them niggas around the corner. That's crazy.
So shared Justin's arrest record with the court. You see, Donasia was not the first woman he had attacked. In 2016, he was sentenced to 8 years probation for first-degree assault and battery. The condition of his probation stipulated that he was not allowed to be in possession of a firearm. So when he was found in possession of a firearm and drugs, he was arrested. He ended up serving 3 years in prison. He had actually just been released when he met Donasia. It's unclear at this point if Donasia knew about his conviction or if he didn't tell her the whole truth. After Donasia filed the DV report, a judge issued him a no-contact. This was in January 2021. Justin never stuck to the no-contact order. In fact, he contacted her right away and began to harass her. And the worst part? By May of that year, Justin was out on bail. Prosecutors told the court on 10 p.m. on May 22nd, 2021, as Donasia returned from her beach, she spotted Justin's pickup truck following her into the Forest Point apartment complex parking lot.
When Holloway returned from vacation in May that year, she noticed Carol's truck following her home.
Locking herself inside her car, she parked beside a Walterboro police cruiser and posted the video of Justin approaching her car. Minutes later, Justin fired a weapon through her car windows, striking Donasia 4 times in the head and neck.
Holloway.
And I'm telling you, you will definitely see deposits. You will definitely get checked.
I was skeptical in the beginning too, but
Parked next to a Walterboro car out of fear. An officer then heard gunshots from inside his apartment and came outside to find Holloway dead after being shot 4 times in the head and neck.
The police officer.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I'm gonna have to put my daughter's house back of my house. I tell you, they old, nice size, big ass house. They'll never have to leave with nothing. Little area, nobody can bother them, but they close to me. Cause I'm telling you, I'm
Officer
telling the
whose
whole
cruiser he
family.
had parked beside ran outside to find her not moving in her front seat. The prosecutor also presented security footage that caught Justin walking up to her car. Multiple witnesses also told the investigators they saw a man running to his pickup truck and driving off in the moments after shots were fired. Within hours of the awful crime, law enforcement stopped Justin at a traffic light and tested his hands for residue. He told officers that he had traveled to Charleston that day, but when authorities pressed for more details, he asked for a lawyer. The officers didn't find any weapons inside his car, and without enough evidence to charge him, they eventually released him. Then, 2 days later, investigators saw Donasia's Snapchat video, and they noticed something odd. Justin in the video had a head full of hair, but the man they had arrested hours later was clean shaven.
Investigators found gunshot residue on Carol's hands and discovered his phone had been erased and he had shaved his head.
The investigators then figured out that Justin had been in the midst of changing his appearance when those officers caught up with him the first time, but he wasn't done yet. He hadn't had time to properly clean his hands, and the officers fortunately swabbed his hands. The lab results revealed that he did have firearm residue on his right hand. Investigators also determined that he had wiped his cell phone clean. All of that and the video Donasia bravely took in her last moments became his undoing.
A Colleton County jury found Justin Cole Carroll guilty of the 2021 murder of Donasia Holloway. He was sentenced to 60 years, but the circumstances that led to Holloway's death have raised questions surrounding bond referendum and punishment for domestic violence.
But that wasn't enough for Donasia's family. While they were happy that justice was served, it was too late.
Well, the parents of a woman killed in Colleton County say justice has been served after her ex-boyfriend was sentenced to prison for murdering her. They say her death could have been prevented.
Donasia's family felt they would still have their daughter with them if the justice system had actually done its job and kept Justin locked up.
She was our only daughter.
Donasia did her part by reporting the case to the cops. All the justice system had to do was run its course. Instead, Justin was released on bail despite his long history of DV, and Donasia has been taken from the people who love her.
Harsh punishment for people that do this. You know, they need to stay in jail, stay in prison.
Donasia Alexis Holloway, a 22-year-old beautiful young woman, was a vibrant, pure soul who had a promising future ahead of her. She was described as smart, funny, the kind of girl you would want as your friend, and like many of us, she used social media to share her life, her thoughts, and the moments that defined her. But unfortunately for Donasia, her final moments on Earth were tragically captured in real time on Snapchat as she fought for her life against the very man who had once claimed to love her.
She has a lot of friends, a lot of people who she calls her brothers, her cousins, you understand what I'm saying? People that they grew up together. And he doesn't like that.
According to Donasia's parents, Justin was extremely jealous and possessive of Donasia, and he hated how popular she was. Donasia grew up with a large family. She had several siblings, uncles, aunts, and many people she grew up around. She kept in touch with most of them, and Justin didn't like that. He didn't trust her with all the boys, that she was related to, by the way, that she hung around. When she wouldn't dump her family to only spend time with him, he got mad and changed completely. He went from the sweet boy who wouldn't hurt her to a monster.
One night he had followed her home. And when she saw him, she turned around. There was another time that he called her phone again, talking to her, asking her, where you at? And he was in her house playing with her puppy.
Her family tried to step in and protect her, but they could only do so much. They couldn't be with her 24/7, even though they tried.
Family says they took steps to protect their daughter, blocked Carol on social media, changed her phone number several times. let her stay at their home, helped her file a restraining order, even reached out to Carol's family.
Despite their efforts to keep her safe, Justin still found his way to her and took her away from them forever.
Him striking down my niece because of rejection that he can't take. Now she's not here anymore.
Donasia had her whole life ahead of her, and now because of Justin, she wouldn't get to live it.
Yeah, I just still can't believe it, you know, because he had a whole life ahead of him. I think he got what he deserved, and justice was served, you know.
As of now, we have a life sentence of heartache and pain that we will carry for the rest of our life.
Donasia Alexis Holloway's story is heartbreaking, no doubt about it. It's one of those cases that sticks with you because it reminds us how dangerous abusive relationships can get, and how ignoring the warning signs can lead to tragedy. She had her whole life ahead of her, so much potential, so many dreams, and yet all of that was stolen by someone who couldn't handle rejection, someone who let their anger and obsession take over. When you hear about Donasia's final moments, it's hard not to think about how things could have been different. Could something have been done sooner? Could stronger protections or more awareness have saved her? Those are tough questions, but they're important ones. Because the reality is, stories like Donasia's aren't as rare as they should be, and that's why her story matters. It's a wake-up call. Hey, thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you know of other similar cases? Let me know in the comment section, and before you go, make sure you...
Man, this shit was crazy.